We are living for longer than ever before, thanks to improvements in medical technology and the demise of many past epidemics. Obvious benefits aside, planning for this is a complex issue and one that many researchers around the world are focused on. I spoke with Professor James Jackson, Director of the Institute for Social Research at the University of Michigan, about what factors are driving this increase and what it means for you, me, and the world as a whole.
On a farm in the 1880s, family life followed a pattern. 3 generations of a family lived and worked together. The father was head of the family in the fullest sense of the word. Grandpa is almost 70, but he is still of real help on the farm, particularly in the care of the livestock.
Historically, society was like a pyramid in terms of age. And there was a large base at the bottom with lots of young people. And people tended to die relatively early, and you wound up with many fewer people. What's happening is as people live longer and you get decreased numbers of people who are in the young ages, is that it's a squaring off of the triangle. So how we structure things like policies for children and older people, how we structure and think about housing and how we house people, how we think about the very nature of the family and what the family relationships are. We now have people who will probably live in 3 and 4 and 5 generation families where that just was not possible before. A lot of my colleagues talk about re-engineering the life course. And there's certain things that you probably can't re-engineer as much as you think about. Women can't say, I'm going to work until I'm 50 and then I'm going to have my children. The timing in which women have children can probably only be expanded so far.
What about a grandfather who lives in an urban setting? He's reasonably happy. But today's world is a young world in which 60 is old. And Mr. Wingfield has a feeling of uselessness. His job is over.
What other social impacts will we see?
With people living a lot longer, there's going to be the opportunity to not only have one career, but you can have multiple ones. The longer you live within a particular profession or the things that you do, the more there are opportunities for that profession to change. And the need for re-education, retraining, and doing things differently has become much more prominent when people have 40, 45, 50 years of active work life.
So this must present all sorts of challenges, not just to us, but to society.
We'll never go back to that triangle that I talked about before, pyramid, where you have relatively small numbers of older people and large numbers of young people. Having large numbers of older people who are sick or disabled, in other words, infirm, that have to be taken care of, presents a tremendous cost to the society. Without the kind of informal support for older people, that is, family and friend networks, we couldn't even afford what we have now, let alone how we're going to afford to take care of the increased numbers of older people.
The good news is that if we can focus on prevention to delay the onset and reduce the severity of chronic illness in our older years, then what we could be gaining is an added 10 years or so of productive, disease-free life.
While Grandpa reads his farm journal, Grandma upstairs in the bedroom listens to the radio and reads a woman's magazine. The children have permission to borrow the family car and are going to visit friends in a nearby town.